Right, this event is being held in conjunction. This event tonight was held in conjunction with the 24-hour podcast. It's a podcast that I held every year. This is a third annual event. We just obviously wrapped up the podcast awards ceremony. We are at this point in the 24-hour podcast. We're 10 hours into the show. So basically, what's been going on for 8.5 hours prior to this is I've been online here talking with different podcasters, different people in the new media space. And of course, it didn't help that we had someone decide to start doing some construction here just when we started the award ceremony tonight. But we're going to be here for another 14 hours, basically talking to a variety of companies, a variety of podcasters, different personalities. If you want to come over and hang out with us, you can do so over at my personal website at geeknewscentral.com. We're going to do a little bit of a shifting of gears here and go back into the 24-hour podcast mode. I know lots of you have comments to talk about, maybe about the show. I've got a scheduled guest that is due to dial in here. I actually tried to dial in a few minutes ago. But thanks for everyone for hanging out. And while we know that maybe your favorite show did not win, please give due respect to those that did. It was we've worked very hard to make the process very fair and transparent with independent reviews, independent accounting of all the totals. And, of course, we worked real hard to make the process as fair as possible. Nothing is perfect with any event per se, but I think we've done a pretty good job in maintaining a good awards program for the 5th year and giving great shows great recognition. So if you have comments on tonight's award ceremony, you can email podcast@podcastconnect.com. Again, thanks to all the shows that participated in the award ceremony. If your show wasn't here, ask them why. We worked really hard to reach all the shows that did not show up for the award ceremony. And, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. And I do feel bad because many of you really, went out there and went the extra mile to vote, nominate for the shows, and then yet the shows didn't find the time to show up to the award ceremony, which I find is appalling, or at least they didn't even reach out and say they were not going to be here. But we did the best we could to reach them, and that is that. Okay, so let me go ahead. If Jeff Hines, if you are listening, go ahead and dial in, my friend, and we'll get back on track with the 24-hour podcast. Those of you who want to hang out, feel free to do so. Hey, Jeff, are you listening?
Hello.
Hey, Jeff, we ran a little late on the awards ceremony. Don't know if you were watching the stream or not.
Yeah, the stream was dead. It was just spinning. Nothing was coming through.
Well, that's weird.
Yeah, a lot of people were complaining about it. They said it bailed out at 700 viewers, and you have over 1,000 now.
Wow, that's odd. Because is it still down?
Yep.
Really?
Oh, there we go. Nice.
Because I'm seeing it here, so I don't know what happened. Wow.
Yeah, it's just spinning.
Good
I've
old,
been waiting. I've been trying to get it for 20 minutes.
good old Ustream, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I'm seeing it. I'm seeing the stream. I've got a good stream on my side. Yeah, I'm good. I see it. So I have no idea what's going on. Yeah, I told Ustream about the event, so obviously they were prepared. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So let me switch views here. Boy, I tell you, people were upset in the award ceremony about some of the winners, but what can you do? It is what
Yeah.
it is. Let me. I gotta try something here because I'm not having good luck getting the Ustream controller back online. Let me see if I can do that here now, because I'm going to have to go back and re-record this onto Ustream when this thing's all wrapped up. Let me see if we can get the broadcast screen to come up. Oh yeah, I got the broadcast screen back up. So weird. Well, we had a huge number, 28,000 people boomed in during the event. So, just as a reminder, everyone, this is a continuation of the 24-hour podcast. The fifth annual People's Choice Podcast Awards is wrapped up. We'll have the winners up on the website probably as soon as the gentleman that takes care of the website design flips the switch on it, and which should be soon. But thanks for hanging out. 24-hour podcast is an event I do every year, and basically we bring people in from within the podcasting community and within the tech space itself, and it's a charity event. We raise money this year. Our charity is Ronald McDonald House Charities, and if you go over to geeknewscentral.com, that's where you'll find a PayPal link on the website to get you hooked up and be able to contribute if you feel like you would like to. Every dime that we raise for the 24-hour podcast for Ronald McDonald House is returned back to the charity. And currently, right now, I've got Jeff Hines on
Steve.
the Steve. Yeah, I got Steve. Somehow I got Steve on the mind. So Jeff, welcome to the 24-hour podcast. And
Oh, thanks, Todd.
I see you
It's
up
a
on this.
pleasure.
And after the madness that's been going on so far, luckily Ustream's only crashed twice today, so pretty good in about 10 plus hours of streaming here. But I've got us slated to talk about Blueberry this hour, or actually next.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we don't have a lot of time left. We're gonna have to cover it here relatively quickly. Let me look and see who we've got on tap to come on next, and see how that's going to affect the schedule. But of course, as a disclaimer here, I'm the CEO of Raw Voice. Raw Voice is the parent company of Blueberry. Jeff is our content director at Blueberry. And Blueberry is a podcasting community. What else can you tell the audience about Blueberry, Jeff?
I mean, I think it's more than a community. It's a way for podcasters to do a number of things, and it's to really get to understand their show through our stats system. It's a way for them to help promote their show through our publishing tools. Make it easy for them to not have to worry about the technological side of podcasting, and use our PowerPress plugin for WordPress, and let them think more about the content in their show, and let us handle a lot of the things behind the scenes, whether that's something as simple as hosting. So I think it's more than just a community. It's a toolbox, a tool belt. It's something that lets you get a good night's sleep, every night.
Yeah.
Not having to worry about the technology or the distribution or the having people find it. And we're always putting out new tools and new ideas and new opportunities. It's a way for them to make money,
Right.
through advertising deals. So it's a little bit of everything, I think, more so than most.
Yeah, and luckily we're still profitable and or are profitable and don't have any venture capital hooks in us. We don't have to worry about unnecessary pressure from outside entities, I guess. So that definitely puts us in a good position, and we're having a pretty good year this year as a whole. Um, Without announcing revenues or anything like that, we did pretty good this year, didn't we?
Oh, I think we did very well. Considering it was a down year, considering it was a recession, considering marketers cutting advertising budgets. I think we were very successful.
I had to put the commercial back up behind me. Um, in 2010, I think we're already seeing major movement. I've had more advertising requests for proposals in the last 2 weeks. Matter of fact, I was telling the guys on my um, show yesterday that I had 100. I counted in my iPhone, and last week I had 140 calls, and all of them that call were podcast related. So it was a pretty big week last week, and a lot of exciting stuff heading down the pike.
That's good.
Yeah,
Good to hear.
yeah. Well, we'll see how if it's talking is one thing, signing contracts and getting insertion orders under contracts a completely different thing. Hey, let's talk a little bit about what PowerPress has done for basically what PowerPress has meant to the company and people that host it, Blueberry.
Well, I think it's meant, an opportunity for us to, as I mentioned earlier, just help podcasters really, publish their show in a very simple fashion. I mean, I've got a WordPress blog as a podcaster, and I use PowerPress. And it's just one more thing to make it simple for me to upload my media and have it pushed out on my blog, on a weekly basis. I don't have to think about it once I set everything up. It sends everything, with all the right ID3 tags, the image art, the show notes. It's, works with iTunes. It's very simple. I can ping it. It's got a built-in stats um, system, so I can see what's happening with my shows, whenever I log into the dashboard, which is great. I don't have to go to another site. It's a one-stop shopping kind of a thing. So I think that, it fulfills a lot of the needs that we as podcasters were looking for in the marketplace. And it's kudos to, Angela who built it. So
What do you think, on a 2010 outlook basis? Where do you think the new media space is heading in 2010, and where do you think the future lays? And before you answer that, you're going to have to listen to the discussion I had with Rob Greenlee from Zune and the discussion we had with Ming Young this morning. Some really 2 hours of amazing content. But where do you think we're going to head in 2010?
I think it's all going mobile, everything that we've seen, just with what's happening with the iPhone and the apps, and from a marketing perspective,
Yeah, there
from a
you are.
marketing perspective, advertisers are looking for mobile to be the new thing in 2010, and try and figure out how to get it to work. And publishers are doing the same thing. They've been saying mobile's been around for years. Why can't we get it to work? So there's a huge concerted effort, largely in part to what's going on in the smartphone space with the applications, whether it's on, the iPhone, or Google's pushing really hard on the Android to try and develop things that are unique, Blackberries. And I think 2010 is going to be the year of mobile, finally.
The big question that, or the big thing that, we're seeing in the space is that, I switched that out in the perfect time. You got a hot cup of coffee or something there, didn't you?
Hang on one second. Lost my mic.
That's
All
okay.
right. Say that again.
It looks like you got a hot cup of coffee there or something.
I did something way too hot. Almost burned my hands.
At this time of night, you think you would need a little cocktail instead of
Yeah.
something warm to drink. If I drank a cocktail at this time of night, I would be passed out about 1 o'clock in the morning, and everyone would be watching me sleep. So,
Oh, sure.
I guess the question I was going to ask you is why do you think, everyone thinks that video is a place to be right now for advertising. And at the
Mm-hmm.
same time, based upon what we see, we're getting the most bang, the most return for a dollar on audio shows. Now,
Mm-hmm.
video is obviously on the up and coming thing. It's going to be the thing where advertising is going to fully morph to at some point. But why do you think everyone's so hot on video? Why have they not realized that the ROI and the return for the dollars they spend is much, much higher on these targeted audio shows?
Well, there's a couple things going on. One, video is easy, it's sexy, it's just a translation of old world media, the television, creative into the new space.
Yeah.
And nobody has to think about anything other than just let's just move it all, and that's why they've got pre-rolls and mid-rolls and post-rolls, which don't work. I think that it's also more appealing because you can spend more money on a video campaign than you can on an audio campaign from an advertiser's perspective. So it eats up budgets. It makes more profit for publishers, higher CPMs. Ad agencies get higher commissions. So there's much more to video from a financial perspective. Everyone's making money, as opposed to an ROI perspective where people are actually looking at the results.
Right.
So I think that's why audio is very efficient in that regard. And audio is hard.
Oh, yeah.
If you're not doing, auto insertion, it's even tougher.
Yeah.
Who wants to deal with reading a radio script and what happens when that expires? And, how do I know that it's going to be delivered in the right manner? And so there's a lot of little nuances with audio that, scare people away. Most, advertisers and agencies, they're lazy and they want something that's very easy to use and very easy to manipulate. And I think that's the biggest thing that is holding back audio as opposed to video.
Right.
Video's turnkey right now.
Yeah.
And video's sexy.
And I think too that it's sexy, and yet the volume, I think, from a new media standpoint, I know where the volume is really at. It's not in the video. But then again, as you say, it's sexy and it's a place everyone wants to be. I don't know if they're getting more on CPM rates in video. I don't see that happening. But are you seeing CPM? Well, of course, you're seeing on the traditional side of the house, but I don't know about the new media.
I mean, I think the video CPMs are always going to be higher. I mean, they've come down, considerably, but all the forecasts are indicating that more money is going to be dumped into the video marketplace in 2010, so that's going to drive pricing up if there's not enough inventory, But there's always more inventory. The question is it inventory that, everyone's going to want, or is it just long tail stuff that nobody wants? So some shows are going to continue to see increases in pricing, others probably won't.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, people are still complaining about the stream, and some are saying the stream is still down, which is odd.
I see that. Someone just said that it looks like the East Coast is down, and being here in New York, it's just spinning right now.
Wow.
So,
well, that just blows. Anybody on the East Coast getting the stream right now? If you are in the chat room, let us know if you're seeing it.
653 viewers.
Yeah, we've dropped. Detroit is good.
Someone said that the stream bailed out at 700 viewers, so we're below that now.
Yeah, I told Ustream what to be prepared for, and obviously they were ready for us. They didn't, it pisses me off. They didn't give us any kudos or nothing, and we drove huge traffic last year too. So I don't know what's going on. People can hear. Can you guys that don't have a stream? Can you guys hear? Can you guys hear the audio that don't get the stream, or is it just nothing? Is it dead, dead, dead? Of course, those that are not listening to stream don't know.
Yeah, if nobody can hear you.
Yeah, that's dumb. Yeah, oh, that was stupid. So, Ustream did not give you the multicast upload code either. What does that mean? I've never heard of that. Multicast upload code. We're pushing via TriCaster, so I don't know what that means. Multicast upload. Someone just said they have no idea what that is. Huh.
Florida's not working. That's East Coast.
Yeah, so no audio/video here in upstate New York. It looks like mostly people in New York. And some people are only getting audio. Try refreshing the page. Those of you who only get audio, the numbers have dropped. Maybe the video will come back. Yeah, we're running. Are you guys running the latest Flash player? It shouldn't matter for anyone that's on. Everything is perfect in Minneapolis, so it looks like the majority of people are able to watch. So who knows what's going on? Well, we had a huge. Yeah, I'm sure that Ustream really pulled through for me here. So everyone just complained to Ustream. Yeah, I'm pushing the video up to Ustream at about 780, so not bad, you know. And they've as the it's been weird today, Jeff, is as we've grown in numbers, we hit a certain point, and then the stream would drop, and I would have to reconnect, and then we grew to a certain point, and the stream dropped. They must have moved us from one system to another. That's the only thing I can think of. And I'm about ready. You know, and my neighbors never do nothing. And do you hear that background noise? Do you hear that right now? It must be it's only me. It must be it's not breaking threshold. Some guy out down the street, he's decided he's going to do his major cleanup for the day, and he's got a grinder or something going. It's driving me crazy. So a bunch of people are asking who won the awards. We're going to have the award site switched over directly, waiting for that to happen. So we'll get that as soon as we can. Okay, well, I think, Jeff, sorry we blew like 15 minutes of your time, but I think we're at the bottom of the 30-minute hour here, and we're going to switch to a new set of hosts. Let me figure out what's going on here with this. I don't know what someone's doing somewhere. Hang on, let me take the headsets off. Oh, I swear to God, sounds like some guy's running a metal grinder in the background. Well, in another couple hours here, it'll be dark. See if he works all night. Okay, well, yeah, people are relieving the stream a little bit. The numbers are dropping as the content importance drops off. But
it just took 5 minutes for my thing to appear in the stream.
Really? You finally got
my chat.
Oh, you finally
my chat.
Wow, that's
I said
weird.
hi to your mom like 4 or 5 minutes ago. It's just coming up now.
Oh, it says my mic is not picking up much background noise. That's good. I can just hear it here. Oh, what was Ryan saying? Everyone leave and see how pissed they get. No, we're not going to get this. We're here for another. Let's see, 13 and a half hours. So this is we're not even 12 hours into the show. So into the 24-hour show. But okay, well, Jeff, thanks for kind of give us a quick rundown on Blueberry and what's happening over there. Any of you that are podcasters, make sure you get your show listed at blueberry.com. And if you're thinking about doing a show, we've got hosting. We help you get monetized. We've got over 1,500 podcasters on CPM-based advertising deals. So, yes, the marathon show today is for charity. You can find the link to the charity at geeknewscentral.com, geeknewscentral.com, doing a charity for Ronald McDonald House Charities. And if you want to follow Ronald McDonald House Charities on Twitter, you can do that at RMHC. Of course, you can follow me on Twitter as well at Geek News. But come on over to geeknewscentral.com if you want to hang out with us for a while tonight. We'll have a lot of fun. You guys can watch me hit the wall here at about midnight. So for those of you that were interested in what's going on in the stream, we just sneaked in the podcast awards during the event, and now we're going to calm down and just get back to the regular, I guess, boring business of doing the 24-hour show after all the excitement. Thanks, Jeff. You gonna kind of hang out and chat later for a while?
Yeah, I'll keep in touch and watch what's going on. But
all right.
I appreciate you having me on here, Todd.
All right, Jeff. Take care. Aloha.
All right, same to you.
Okay, next up is two podcasters that are part of the Tech Podcast Network. And I expect Norbert and a teen podcaster to dial in here in a second. As a matter of fact, here we go. Hey, Norbert, how are you?
Hey, Todd, how you doing?
Do you have video enabled by chance?
I sure do, and it should be running. Let me see what I can do here.
Okay. Here.
I'm doing all right.
All right.
And trying to get this.
Hello?
Hang on one second. We're getting everyone queued in here. And okay, we got both of you up on up on the actual Skype in. Ohanasaurus, you're both dialed in and on and patched in. Hey guys, welcome to the 24-hour podcast.
Hey Todd, how's it going?
Hi.
Hey, it's going good. Do you guys watch the awards ceremony?
I sure did, and I did actually get to see things here in California, so things been going pretty good as far as the stream.
Yeah, well, some people had problems. It looked like mostly New York was having issues. I didn't get a chance to watch the chat comments, but how brutal were they on me?
Well,
I don't think so. Not too bad.
I'm in Pittsburgh, and the stream actually died on me.
It did.
Up in Pittsburgh, so.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah.
Well, we had
I refreshed, and that was the end of it.
Yeah, so it didn't come up back up. Well, we tried to, just like everything else, you tell Ustream what's coming, and little did they pay attention. So maybe they will next year. Enough people complain, I guess they will. So what I'm going to do is I've got you both split here, or actually on the show for the next 30 minutes or so. And why don't you both tell me about your shows? And Norbert, I'll let you lead off and give an introduction here.
Okay, my name is Norbert Davis. I'm doing the Totally Cool Tech podcast. I try and do a series of products or whatever technology that's in a group of things, say tools or cars or things like that. And I try and give a quick, brief look at what's coming out, what's new, what's different, whether it be old technology being reused, new technology, anything different, unusual, just anything really cool. And been doing my podcast and been with TPN for about 4.5 years now. So been having a good time doing that and just having a little fun, geeking out.
And I'm sorry, I've got my list in front of me, but I don't have your first name. What is your first name?
Nick.
Nick. Nick, why don't you tell us about your show and where your show is located?
Well, my show is the Teen Tech Radio podcast, and you can find that at teentechradio.com. And what we try to do is it's a weekly show, and we try to cover that tech news that we think teens will care about, and we're trying to get teens more involved and more interested in technology and have a better knowledge of technology in general. And when I started out to create a podcast, I started listening to podcasts like Geek News Central, like Twit, like some Revision 3 shows, and I thought, well, maybe I could do a podcast. And I looked around on the internet to see if there were already any podcasts about tech that were geared toward teens, and I didn't really find anybody out there that had created a podcast like that, so I created the Teen Tech Radio podcast.
So how's your success been, and how long have you actually been doing your show?
We've actually not been doing it very long. We started about in August of this year, so we haven't been doing it real long. But we've got some listeners who are following the show, and we hope that we can continue to grow and keep building the podcast and just get bigger and bigger.
Yeah, and Norbert, you've been at your show, doing your show, and Norbert, you were a little bit muffled, so I don't know if you're real close to the mic or what it was, but try to do a little bit of a mic adjustment. But how long have you been doing your show?
I've been doing this show, Totally Cool Tech Podcast, for just over 2 years now, and I did my other show, the norbtech.info podcast, for 2.5 years.
A lot has changed since the podcasting space came on the scene 5 years ago. And, being here from the beginning, I've seen, how everything's progressed. You guys being in the space a relatively short time, what do you guys think at this point, and I'll take each one of your answers separately. What do you guys think that your biggest challenges are right now in growing your audience and actually being seen in the space?
I'll let Nick go ahead and start.
All right. Well, personally, in my opinion, I think that the biggest problem is just trying to get the word out about your podcast. I tried to get on some other people's shows to possibly promote my podcast, and did the same for those people on my show. But the fact is that there's not really, unless somebody's specifically looking for your podcast, unless they specifically go out and search for your podcast, it's difficult for them to find your podcast.
Norbert, what are your biggest challenges right now?
Right now, my biggest challenge is my daily life. Having been in construction for a number of years, we've just started completing, or just about completed, a new hospital. So turning that over to the owner and getting all that done has actually taken a big toll of time away from podcasting and blogging. So I'm looking at, now that that's ramping down, maybe I'll be able to ramp up a little bit. One of the things I was going to do was start going and activating my Ustream account again, and do that while I'm podcasting. See if I can help grow the audience that way. A little more interaction.
Were you guys here earlier earlier today when Rob Greenlee from Zune was on? Did you see what he announced or what he showed on the show today?
I missed that portion, but I did see a little bit of Rob there.
He showed me today that they're putting video podcast, HD video podcast on Windows Media Center. Now, obviously, you have to have a pretty good quality to really make the cut with that. And but there was several shows there. They're just mainstream podcasting shows that were right on right on Windows Media Center. You're in there in the menu, and boom, you could watch some of the shows that we're familiar with right there. And I thought that was pretty cool. And I've talked about on my show on how the future is obviously going to be getting the content onto TVs through the Roku boxes and different stuff like that. So, you guys, my show started off as an audio show, and obviously I've worked real hard over the last year to get it to, the video portion of the show to a better quality. But are you guys, you're, and it, just like my show, the audience portion of the show is, as I always say to the audience, 99.99999% of my audience is the audio listeners, and then there's a small smidgen of folks that are willing to watch, the hour and 15-minute show every time. Of course, living in Hawaii, the time I record my show is not conducive to, doing a live stream. So I basically make sure all my stuff gets up on YouTube and stuff. So if either of you, now Norbert, you said you're going to start doing stuff on Ustream, but Nick, have you done anything video-wise yet?
I've not really done video anything yet, just because of the fact that I started out with the audio podcast because, first of all, I had a lot of the gear from doing live audio and other things like that for different organizations, and I didn't really have any video gear, and so at the time I started out to purchase or to do my podcast, it would have cost a lot to purchase the video things because I didn't really have a camera and whatnot to do a video podcast. So I started out with the audio, and hopefully maybe we can get to video and live streaming possibly at some point.
Well, that's cool. Now there's a number of now. Are you technically a true teen? What's your actual age, Nick, if I may ask?
I'm 14.
14. So, have you connected up with any of the other teen podcasters that are running like the Teen Podcast Network, or have you hooked up with any of them at all? And I guess the second portion of that question is, from a sponsorship challenge, what do your parents, what are their thoughts on as you get to the point where maybe your show is ready for a sponsor? Are they going to be willing to sign off to be able to do that? With the legalities of your age, is that what are their thoughts been so far?
Well, first of all, they support me doing the podcast, and they think it's a good thing that I'm doing. But one of the challenges of getting sponsorship is that my podcast is geared toward teens.
Right.
So a lot of the sponsors that would would come on for normal podcasts and podcasts geared toward adults would not come on for a teen podcast because really it just doesn't make sense for them.
Right.
And so we haven't really discussed doing any sponsorships just because of overcoming that.
I just want to make a comment to the audience on CLC Radio. This event today was the Podcast Awards was scheduled to be run during this show, and so it's one of the challenges of having a big event that's running 24 hours and then splicing in something like the Podcast Awards. Timing and everything with the holidays coming up, we had to kill two birds with one stone. So if you want to check out the recording of what was put up for the Podcast Awards, it's available on, it will not be available up on Ustream until later. We'll put that up in the correct channel. So just wanted to keep you advised on that. But that's one thing, Norbert and Nick. You can do everything you can, but you can't always please everybody with an event like this. And that's the challenge.
That is true.
Yeah.
But you've been doing a great job, Todd. I've been listening to you since show 25 of yours.
Yeah.
I think that's when I started catching it, and I still have the flag I got from you, one of the contests from the USS Missouri.
Uh-huh.
And I love that flag. I thought that was really cool getting that, and that was kind of one of the inspirations for me to go ahead and start doing my podcast. I was listening to you and several other of the early podcasters, and just wanting to be part of that. I had something to say about technology and want to push people to look at other technologies, new technologies, and even some of the older stuff. But having been in this industry for 4 years now, it's just been a great thing. It's helped me out. I've been able to do reviews of products, and which, as a matter of fact, I got 2 today to go ahead and review, which it was phenomenal to get 2 of these just before Christmas. So it was kind of like a small Christmas gift to myself. But I love doing it, and I hope Nick and his podcast can go far, because it's a great medium for everybody. And being in our group, the techpodcasts.com group, has just been wonderful for me. It's helped me out a lot, having everyone else there to lend a hand and just jump in and encourage everyone else.
And I think what we found with the network so far is that it helps. We've got a great search. When you search for Tech Podcast on Google, right there at the top of the search results, and it drives a lot of traffic in. And as long as a show is being produced on a consistent basis and doing the things that they need to do to be seen, then it makes it, you can get some good exposure over there. And then networking with different podcasters. Nick, if you're having trouble getting your promo played, you need to start reaching out to network members and asking them if they would play your promo, and just tell them you give their shows a shout out in the show. And then most of the guys are very amenable to playing everyone's promo over there. So I think you could get there's a team member over there that would, I'm sure all the team members would help you out.
Yeah, and being part of the network has really been a great thing, great community that's there. But also one of the things that I'll second what Norbert said was that it's hard with the fact that I'm obviously still in school and everything,
right? And
schoolwork comes before my podcast, so sometimes it's difficult to get out my podcast and try to work on that when I've got to worry about school and other activities that I participate in and all of that different kind of stuff. It makes it difficult.
Yeah. Everyone in the chat, I'm going to flood the list with the list of the awardees. There's a bunch of people that want to see who the awardees are, and see if I can make this happen in... Oh, well, I don't think that's going to work real well. Those of you that are on chat, do you guys want to hear who all the awardees were again? Do you want me to go down through the list so that you know who the winners were? I'm sure there's a yes. The webpage is going to be updated by the webmaster. I don't have the ability to update the website until he does the actual updating. But let me go ahead and read the list to everyone. People's Choice went to ESPN Fantasy Focus Football. Best Produced went to Best of the Left. Best Video Podcast went to This Week in Tech. Best Mobile Phone Formatted Podcast went to App Slappy. Best Produced went to Best of the Left. Business went to NPR Planet Money. Comedy went to Daily Giz Wiz. Culture Arts went to Imprint. Education went to The Skeptic's Guide to the Universe. Entertainment went to MuggleCast. Food and Drink went to Munchcast. Gaming went to 4-Player Podcast. General category went to This American Life. GLBT went to Feast of Fun. Health and Fitness went to Quackcast. Mature went to Adam Carolla Podcast. Movies and Film went to Spill. Podsafe Music was Irish and Celtic Music Podcast. Political was The Young Turks. Religion Inspiration went to Reasonable Doubt. Sports was ESPN Fantasy Focus Football. Technology and Science was Security Now. And Travel was WDW Radio. So that was the list of show winners from the Podcast Awards ceremony. Okay.
Hey Nick, if you need a little bit of assistance with playing your promo, go ahead and give me a call or go ahead and send it to me, and I'll definitely put you on our podcast here.
All right, great. Thank you.
So, what do you guys got planned for 2010? What do you guys want? What do you expect for your shows, and where do you think the space is going next year?
Well, for me, for 2010, like I said, I want to get the Ustream going, and I want to actually start putting out a show twice a week rather than once a week. And I think I could do that without a problem, especially with working with the family and definitely my day job. But I think that with podcasting, it's not slowing down. I think it's actually getting better. We've got a lot better styles out there. There's just so much to grab that's out there, and hopefully we can get some of us on, like you said, the Roku boxes and things like that. I think that's a wonderful thing, and I own 2 of the Rokus, so I definitely like to be able to see podcasts on there.
Okay. Oh, I got an email from one of our guests that they're dealing with a water main break and don't know if they're going to be on the show on time. Oh man, that's a good excuse for being late for the show. So we'll see if they make it. I guess what do you guys think then so far as do you guys think that the future is basically getting content onto these media devices like the Roku and getting found in the Windows Media Center, or where do you guys think the future lays for where the content's going to be consumed, or if it's
conference is scheduled to be broken down automatically in
5
minutes.
Isn't that nice of TalkShoe to let me know that?
Press *8.
We'll just break the session down and start a new one. How about that? So, anyway,
I think that getting onto the Roku boxes, and even if you can't get onto Windows Media, they're.
Are you still there? He froze up and disappeared. Nick, are you still here? Oh, we lost everybody. Well, that's not a good sign. Did that mean the DSL connection just went down? What will happen on this show? I'm here to tell you right now. So let me go over here and take a peek and see what's going on. Well, we may be here alone for a little bit. But definitely the DSL connection took a dive. And what will happen during this thing? Let me go take a peek back here and see what's going on. Well, you're back. We lost both of you at the same exact time. It was like Skype went, or the connection we were on died.
Yeah, I got connection lost.
Yeah, Norbert did too. You both disappeared exactly the same time, so that freaked me out. So.
Oh, I thought that was me that went out. Oh.
Are you both there? We lost you again. That's odd.
Yeah, sorry
Okay.
about that. I
Did
meant to hit full screen and instead hit
There we go.
hang up.
And you hit
So,
hung
sorry
up.
about
Okay. All right. Well, at least it's not. I was like, oh man, that's all we need is for that connection to go down, because that's basically a separate connection for the show. Now, who was talking?
I think I was. I'm not sure.
Go
I
ahead.
forget where we were at, so I was scrambling to get my stuff going again.
Well, guys, we're almost here at the top of the hour, and let me take a few minutes and thank you guys for coming out and hanging out with me. And let me do a full reset here of a couple of the systems while we're waiting to go into the next segment. But I appreciate you guys coming out and hanging out with me, and the best of luck for your shows. Why don't you guys go ahead and tell everyone where they can find your show, and basically give that plug so people can find your podcast.
Nick, go ahead.
Okay, thanks. Our show is up at teamtechradio.com. You can go up there and find everything about the show. You can also follow us on Twitter. We are at Teen Tech Radio. You can follow me on Twitter. I am at The Real Geek, but teamtechradio.com, you can go up there and find links to pretty much everything about our podcast.
Very well done.
All right.
Go ahead.
I'm over at Totally Cool Tech Podcast, and you can also get me on Twitter as well. Just go look either under NorbTech or Totally Cool Tech Podcast, TCT Podcast. And I have, like I said, been doing it for 2 years with TCT Podcast and 2.5 years prior to that with my other podcast. So been around for a little while and still loving it.
Thanks, Guy. I appreciate it. And I'm going to go ahead and reset the show at this point so that we are ready to start the next segment clean. The stream is going to stay up, but I need to recycle all of the recordings that are going on at this point, and so that we can move forward and kind of recover from the last segment where we were at. So I'm going to go ahead and stop record and save. And I think I've got a rogue video sitting out there on Ustream somewhere with no labeling on it too, so I'll have to get back in there and get that figured out. But we're backing all this data up on the TriCaster, so anything that doesn't make Ustream, I can go back and push it later into the actual system itself. So this was segment 10. And this was Jeff and Norbert and Nick. So how many of the audience members do we still have left that were here with us this morning on chat? If you guys are still here, check in on chat. I want to see how many of you guys are still left or how many of you got bounced from the event when we went into the award ceremony. And we'll see how many people didn't get bumped off the system.